Hello, welcome back again to Critical Rocket, and I'd like to introduce everybody to Dying Simulator 2015, or as has just been released on Steam, from a very long early access period, about 2 years I believe, or maybe longer. I think it was one of the earliest of the early access titles I remember seeing on Steam, Verdun 1418. And this is pretty cool actually. I've had my eye on this for a while, and I never really picked it up in the early access stage because I guess there were just other games at the time, but I saw this and it was on full release, and it's a really intriguing sort of setup. I mean, because there's a lot of modern shooters, and there's obviously been a lot of World War II shooters, but not so many in the Great War. And I have to say the development here has been really, really good. It's a steal at, I believe at the moment it's £15. I think it goes up to £16 or £17, but either way, you could pretty much count this as a budget title. So basically, Verdun is a first-person shooter set within the Great War period across the 4 years on the Western Front. You play as both the Entente, which I guess you could say is the Allies, which is France, Canada, Britain. I believe future updates are going to add the Belgians and the US forces. And currently in the Central Powers, or what I guess you could say the Axis, for anyone who's not really up on the World War I history, is the Germans at the moment. Now apparently the developers are really, really looking into the idea of also introducing the Austro-Hungarians at some point, so you get at least the Austrian forces at some point fighting against the Italians in the Alps, and on the Eastern Front against the Russians. But at the moment it's just Verdun. You've got those factions, and everyone's going to add the Belgians and the Americans at a later date. Basically the main gameplay mode, there are two at launch, which is one that's called Frontlines and the other one's called Rifle Deathmatch. Rifle Deathmatch I haven't really looked at, but just going by the name it doesn't sound interesting. This one, which is what the footage is for, is... oh, that was deadly. This one is for Frontlines, and basically this kind of simulates the trench warfare aspect of the Great War. Basically, both teams kind of take it in turns attacking each other's trench lines, and this essentially means you get to hang back, camp and snipe a lot when you're on the defense, and when you're on the attack you rush like a motherfucker across a lot of open terrain, really hoping you don't get sniped instantly, and gas mask, and really hoping you don't get fucking sniped as you're running across the open land and getting into the trench and then trying to hold the trench. And it's really, really desperate stuff. It's fun, but as I said at the beginning, you will die a lot. There's no avoiding it. There's no way of being some kind of fucking try-hard player on this. It's just not going to happen. You will think you're in a good position, and then next thing is you bang, instantly you're dead. The damage modeling in this is really high. Like, a single rifle shot will kill you. It doesn't seem to matter where you get hit, you're dead. There are pistols which can take about 2 or 3 shots, but if you're generally decent with your aim, you can headshot people instantly with that thing. There are a couple of LMGs, which are obviously good more on defense than they are on attack, and I think there's one SMG, which I believe is an MP18, which the Germans get. And that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a collection of rifles, and the front lines just sort of pass back and forth. The maps are incredibly detailed. This is one of the more pleasant World War I maps. I thought I'd show this one first because a lot of people get the image of the First World War as being like masses of muddy trenches, barbed wire everywhere, dull grey clouds all over. But that wasn't really the case entirely. There were parts of the war that was still trench combat, but sometimes it was fighting through lush green fields, and there's a map on this which is just a dense forest, which is really good. But there are the more traditional, just, the things that you see in movies, and then just the horrific conditions that the soldiers were fighting in. And you can see a bit of that later on, one of those maps, and there are about 6 or 7 different maps at the moment, with new ones on the horizon, according to the devs anyway. One of the key features about the gameplay, though, is that everybody, when they join a squad, and the different squads have different roles. the way it's kind of broken up for the entente powers at the moment is that you can have French and British and Canadian squads all together. Obviously, I don't think that's very realistic, but I think it's just so you can play around with the different weaponry and equipment. But within the squads, you'll have you might have a rifleman, you'll have maybe an LMG support character, you'll have an NCO, and then you might have someone who might be another specialist rifleman, or he might be a sniper, or he may just be a subaltern, that kind of thing. And basically the different classes have different roles within the squad, and if you work with the other 3 players in your squad, you get bonus points which can help level up your squad during the match, and as they level up you unlock new abilities for each other. You getting hold of hand grenades, being able to use abilities. The NCO will get things, call-ins. Basically they'll be able to call in a recon plane so they can highlight enemies on the map. They'll be able to call in artillery barrage or mortar strikes. They'll be able to call in gas attacks, and there are several different types of gas. And you have to really be on your toes, because if gas drops, you have to put your gas mask on, or you'll die in a few seconds. And many people, obviously, during the war suffered a pretty horrific death at the hands of things like chlorine gas, mustard gas, that kind of thing. And they've gone to town with all the different types, and it becomes kind of an area denial tool, and it really adds to the atmosphere. It's quite horrific when you think about how this game just really sort of gives you the tiniest fraction the taste of what the conditions must have been like, and it can be quite exhilarating when you jump out of a trench and you do get right across that open terrain and you make it to the other trench, and then suddenly you're trying desperately not to get killed and trying to kill them as quickly as possible. But oh man, it's as you see there, it's just very tough but extremely good fun. I've really been enjoying this for the couple of days I've been playing it. Yeah, I'd say if there are any issues, it might be a little bit jerky at times. You might see certain animations, but it might look a little bit, I don't know, robotic as well. I'm sure these aren't really game breaking. They won't stop you from landing a headshot or anything like that, but they can slightly immersion breaking. It'd be nice to see them improve the animations, like head bob, and sort of maybe make it feel a bit more weighty, because it can feel a bit floaty at times. But outside of that, everything, in my opinion, is really good. There's a great atmosphere. The maps are incredibly detailed. The characters are also very detailed. You spend a long time looking at the different character models and the uniforms they wear. Sound effects are great. Weapons are very loud, very powerful sounding. Yeah, I mean, even the menu screen, when is in a trench and you get this great little sort of medley of different songs from the era, sort of like, you know, the Yanks are coming in, you know, other like little tracks like that, which is just little touches that really work for the game. But yeah, it's a steal on Steam at the moment. It's running on the Unity engine, a version of the Unity engine. I'm not as technically knowledgeable about those things, but I do remember one of the devs saying that the game is using a Unity engine version, and they've done an amazing job with it. And as I said, if you're interested in something a little bit different from a historical shooter, I don't think you can go wrong with this. As I said, great game type. I mean, yeah, you could criticise it for just having the one type, but Frontlines is really fun. It's challenging. I imagine though, if you get online with a squad, or if I assume there are clans running around for this thing, you could have some really competitive matches, attacking the trenches and coming up with new ways to horribly kill each other. It's like things can get very desperate, especially when you sort of poke your head up and you can see like 10 or 11 players charging across. Oh, actually, that's something I should mention. One of these things that always annoys me about games is they never tell you the player numbers. It's 64 as far as I can tell. I'm pretty sure. No. Ignore that, it's not 64, it's 32, it's 16 aside, and that does sound small at first, but trust me, with the map sizes and the attack and defend and the respawn times, it's actually pretty good. It's not too bad. The game runs like a dream. This is everything on Ultra. This was just what the game decided the first time we set it up, and I'm getting an average about 80 to 90 frames on a GTX 760. So I mean, it's not even like I'm running a 960 or anything like that. And it's very smooth, great looking game. And yeah, I don't think there's so much else. It's just I've been really impressed with this. I'll put a link below if you, to the Steam store if you want to check it out, and see a few gameplay videos over there and some of the screenshots and get some more detailed information. They have a great guide on the Steam discussion section that tells you everything about all the maps, all the game modes, all the different squads. And, they've really gone to work with it. The hats off to the devs for a small development team. They've done what a lot of AAA developers I think have really failed to do in the past. So yeah, if you're looking for a budget shooter title, this is I'd recommend this. I really would. It's good fun. So thanks for watching, everyone, and have a good week. And so just to play out with some footage of me desperately fighting in the trenches.
Verloren, aber der Krieg noch lange nicht.